Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom in the world. We are trying to re-establish perfect syllabus for all the students throughout the world, from school, college, university, research to it literally undoing all the damage which has been done with respect to mathematics, physics, chemistry and medical sciences. I am talking about the core values. I am not talking of dynamic side. I am not touching it. The only perfect human being, the perfect Brahman, microcosmic universe, where everything is with respect to Divyank and Akhandata is what I am going to talk about it, and that's it. And once we know Divyank, we know Akhandata, we can rewrite divine mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and all the sciences which can make us a perfect human beings as the custodians for the world to lead to world peace. I have nothing other than that in my mind. And I do know we have been taught something which needs to be corrected. I am just trying to show with Divyank and Akhandata only. I am not challenging any individual. Now in this particular picture we are going to talk about it. The video we are going to talk about water, the universe divine solvent, why nature created water as a universe divine solvent, as a seat of life. With everything, without water we cannot do anything. And this is something which I want the world to realize. Value pure water, 100% pure water, which can rehydrate ourselves, remove all the dehydration from our side, purify us completely, and we can be immortal once. But if you look at this particular picture in this particular first slide, you see a pentagon which is designed with Divyank sequence alone. Now right in the center you can see a dot, that is a zero from which the entire universe has come. Entire mathematics started from zero to the other numbers is something which I relate to Antaratma, indwelling soul, and me and my soul with respect to helium are neon are argon 40. The concept which I have done with that respect I am explaining. So pentagons represent the Panchabhutas of the highest order which was created by the universe in totality. I am talking of Antaratma there. Let me also make a statement. Ancient Indian scriptures make it very clear the first thing which was created was in the fluid form, and I would say Amrit, immortal nectar, is pure water only. Everything was in that form. That is one which brought down entire thing from cosmos to the earth to the primordial ocean. From primordial ocean all the biological life started, and all the needs of unicellular organisms came from saline water with all the nutrients, and everything was expelled out. As a multinational, multicellular, multidimensional human beings, we still depend on primordial ocean and the water for our survival. There cannot be any life without water. That's it. So real depth of core value of water is what I'm going to talk about it. Both science and spirituality bring the impeccable wisdom to the world which is required. Now you can see the drop of water which came from top, the Indra brought it down to earth, and that is in ocean, and from there everything has come is what churning of ocean or Sumugal Manthan is all. So interconnecting the ancient Indian wisdom, their story forms are reflections in the light of modern science as a medical doctor for prevention medicine or even reversing aging is what I'm going to talk about in this particular thing. This is one video, in my opinion, is the most vibrant video for every human being. Bear with this particular thing, listen to the whole thing. If it apply that in day-to-day life, you could be immortal in every way. You could be physically healthy, emotionally stable, mentally powerful, superior, intelligent, intuitive, giving world what world needs, not rubbish which is defective. If you want, then this video is that eye-opener rehydrate to 61.8034%. That is the divine design. That is the core which needs to be done step by step to reach the impeccable wisdom of the highest order. Now from that, let me start. The prime objective of every life, including mine, is a perfect physical health, free from physical diseases. I really mean you should never fall sick. Whatever is the cause, you eliminate the cause, you will be perfectly healthy, and do before it is too late. It takes time, but a stitch in time can save nine is the one thing which I have always been talking as a medical doctor. Immediately find the cause and rectify the cause. Do not try to stop the symptoms with the drugs which are absolutely not necessary. Body is telling you there is something wrong. Find what went wrong to have that particular problem. Eliminate that. You will have absolutely no disease whatsoever. Human body is capable of preventing all, provided we are truthfully, honestly, non-violently, otherwise flowing with the divine nature. Divine nature will tell us this is this, this is this. If we are gone against by taking something which is unnatural, we are the cause. Let's find the cause and eliminate the cause. You will have a perfect physical health, emotional stability, mental wealth, prosperity, abundant of money. For everything we'll have everything, we can give it to the world. Give and forgive, not get and forget. So for that, right education, data, information, knowledge, wisdom, impeccable wisdom is required. And that is what can change the world. That's what over and over I say, Vidya dadati vinyam, vinyat yati patratam, patratam cha dhana utpati, cha dharam cha sukham. If we want the world to be comfortable, knowledgeable, we need impeccable wisdom. That is only one which can make us humble. And when we are humble, we can make a costless society. When costless society together works based on the skills, we can do abundance of productive work, abundance of money, perfect, and there can be dharma, righteousness, and comfort for everyone. So right education is something which I've been talking about. More and more we share with the world for the love of it, the better it is. Our knowledge should not die with us for whatever it is. World needs impeccable wisdom, and that is what Akhand Vidyashram stands for. And similarly, we should understand the good of everybody. Let's not concentrate on finding fault with religions, concepts, or cultures. If they are there, truthfully accept it and create a uniform religious spiritual concept with the science which is perfect to the core, good for everybody, irrespective which caste, creed, religion, nature we come from. We are human beings, we are the custodians, we are the guardians. We should believe that we are the perfect ones. We are not imperfect ones. If we are imperfect because of ourselves, not because of nature. And that's everyone has a role. That is something which I am talking about. So spiritual evolution, enlightenment, empowerment is going to change the world, with which this video has a very, very important role to play. Now the reason for us to fail, even to create a disease-free life, is because of ignorance, inertia, lack of knowledge. We do not know the perfect of any of the subjects. We have been given man-made mathematics, not divine mathematics. We have given physics, chemistry, biology, all the sciences based on man-made defective models which are creating all the confusion, mine, yours, this and that. That is egocentric consciousness is the problem for the entire world. We need to go to higher level, have self-esteem within ourselves and think of only impeccable wisdom, so the world to realize this is the world which needs. And we are a part of the world to be perfect ones, not defective whatsoever. And Divyank and Akhandata are the doors towards that impeccable wisdom. Now, as I told you, my dharma is impeccable wisdom, Akhandata to the core. And my greatest discovery is Divyank. 22 by 21 is the first stage of creation. 10 stages of development, and 0.344 is the third stage of maturation, which leads to 1.6180. This is the mathematical length and breadth of every perfect object, and with which all the perfect vital organs of the human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, Brahman, solar system, spiral galaxy and others are designed. And we need to be in tune with each other, and to do that, and this is the book which can lead towards that. And integrating factor is water. And also all the languages by and large have defects, and I want to eliminate all the defects, convert all the Divyank into symbolic representation as this, and other concepts also symbols as you can see on either side, and create a new symbolic language which is perfect by itself. Sign language was good, but it has limitations. Verbal language has got a lot of defects. Number of letters is less, number of words are less, and there is a lot of ambiguity. We need to create a new language which is graphic in presentation, what you can see of Divyank there, and other things. Let's start doing one by one and bring impeccable vision to the world. It might take me many years, but I'm on the right job, and this particular video is very important for every human being, every life, entire world, buy and say. And I call pure water is Amrit, nectar, immortal beings are only because of that. Why I'm going to just show and justify in this. Why do I say water is immortal? This is Amrit. Now, entire whole universal knowledge, including human body, is into this particular picture, which has taken me almost 20 years. From 1995 first symbol Gayatri to Akhand in 2015 with Divyank. 20 years of tapasya has brought me to this level, and everything is this and nothing other than that is required. We have spoken about it. We need to understand with open mind. If we understand this symbol, we understand the Divyank, we understand the world perfectly, and we need that perfect knowledge without any deficiency whatsoever. That is the objective of Akhand Vidyashram. Now, let me also tell you, my Akhand life is converted into 5 stages. First 7 years is only cognition, that means brain is developed fully. We should not let any conditional thought get into our mind. Let Antaratma and the person see the world with the impeccable wisdom. Only then is required. No schooling, no conditioning of any nature. Let the child develop on its own strength. That's one part. Next 14 years, learn all the 64 arts perfectly. Get that. Next 21 years, apply that in your family life, profession, and master it. Then take 20 years of retreat and observe things. Get an idea what exactly you want. And then last 35 years plus are sannyas and sharing wisdom for the love for the entire world. From that angle, let me go to the next stage as such. So the first stage, let the brain be fully integrated. It has got a brain stem and spinal cord as a reptilian brain, which has all the centers of unconscious, subconscious centers to make us perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. Then you have a mammalian brain, which is the limbic system. It is an emotional thing which will get connected from the self within the family, then to the entire world. We should become emotionally one with everyone. We should do work for everybody without getting affected by that. And then primate cortical brain to think rationally, logically, mathematically of all the 64 art which I am talking about. But more than that is outer 3 layers of neocortex. Even neuroscientists do not know the meaning. Once those 3 cut, we can work as an antenna to universal consciousness and get all the wisdom from the time before creation, during creation, and today is all there in Akash Kosh. Once that gives us the intuition power, then we have the knowledge which will be without any defect, and that is what has happened in my life. I am doing it. Now coming to the intuitive impeccable wisdom is first 7 years don't do anything. Learn all things by observation. Have all the 100 billion cells which can create into 20,000 memory synapses. Imagine the kind of power brain has. Let the brain be full of wisdom of impeccable nature from A to Z, the core value, then you have nothing to worry about. Then you can understand relative much easier, provided you know what is Akhand Vidya or impeccable wisdom by and large. And this is what I'm talking about, and I'm glad that first 7 years of my life never went to a school, but I had the chance to go to Mata Vaishno Devi, had a chance to go to Kashmir, 6 months in Katra, 6 months in Kashmir, for many years to see the beauty of Kashmir Valley, where Rishi Kashyap created value full of Tantra Vidya of the highest score was there. And Mata Vaishno Devi, of course, is a living divine mother. From both places, I got to see the best, which laid a foundation for impeccable wisdom. Now, I had the pleasure of being in Srinagar. I had the pleasure of being in Martand. I also had a pleasure in being Pahalgam. One particular year I spent in Pahalgam, which is location for Amarnath Yatra. From there, Pahalgam is the first center to go to Amarnath, is this center, and how I went as a child. I still remember very clearly how I was influenced, how I got affected. Why I'm talking about 108 part of Tantra Vidya? Because of exposure in Amarnath. And Amarnath, I call it, is the center for Amrit. You have stone image of snow in Pai Risho, and that is amazing to start with. Now, I would like to now bring you together to stage a symbol of the route from Pahalgam to Amarnath step by step, and in the process learn. If you have to go for impeccable wisdom, these are the things from the external world we got to drop it out to go to Antaratma. Incidentally, that happened as a child. Pahalgam means the first village. Pahal means first, Gaum is village. Second thing, from there when you start, next stage you go is Chandanwadi. Chandan means moon. Moon, third eye of Shiva, or the moon, mean reflection, should be dropped there. Then goes to Nag Koti, which is snakes. Because Shiva is surrounded by snakes, that is a place. You got to throw all the companion, everything over there. Go single-handedly next to Sheshnath, the major snake with which Lord Shiva is associated with. Then go to the next stage, Mahagun, which means all the characters of Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, Nirgun, Nirankar, etc. All those things you drop it out because they're also external world. And you don't need it as such because your Antaratma can give you much better thing. Then you go to the next stage called Panch Armi. That means all the five elements, Panch Bhutas, should also be dropped there. That means you're literally coming to inside to Shunya or Antaratma by and large. Then you come to a stage called Sangam, where everything becomes one. It's this union between Jivatma, Antaratma and Paramatma. This is where Tret Parvate is there. Then you go to Amarnath cave, see the snow statue. It's a beautiful sight to be in tune with, where you see one with Amrit. You see with the Tantra Vidya, you see with Lord Shiva, you see with the Tatriya, you see with the universe. And that was a beautiful experience which I had as a child before I was 7 years. That has left an image that today I am talking about Tantra Vidya of the highest order. That means perfect anatomy, perfect physiology, perfect psychology, perfect biochemistry, which nobody can find fault. And that is the kind of knowledge I got as a child, and I'm sharing with the world just for the love of it, so there is universal peace by and large. And this is a symbol which is there in Amarnath, and I would say it a reflection is of pi 22 by 7, and also the Lord Shiva gave the knowledge of Tantra Vidya A to Z, a perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and psychology, subtle aspects of the human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, cross that with all the 10 centers over there to Parvati after dropping everything external, and the conversation between Lord Shiva and Parvati is only on Antaratmic level. Listening to that, even two pigeons have become immortal. They can be seen there even today. I have seen that. I know it. It's a beautiful thing to be in tune with immortality. If you want to be in tune with immortality, the first lesson which I learned is pure water. So that is why I'm saying, if you have the pure water, everything will in fluid state. You will not have any difficulty. That's it. Now, Mother Earth has got 7 oceans, and I do know this knowledge from Universal has come down to the Earth. And this picture I'm saying, the water content, the blue part compared to green. Blue is water 61.8034%, whereas green is a solid earth which is 38.196. This is a formula of the divine universe on Shakta and Shakti combination. This is a proof from internet. You can see for yourself the combination. I don't need to say. You can see that inside is 38 green part and outside is blue. There 7 is also shows earth is made of 7 parts. So is there 7 oceans. It is not coincident because that's how the nature is. In nature is perfect, but we are trying to look at it from our conditioned reflex, and that's why we lose a path on the whole. So this is the first thing. 61.80 is water on the earth, in the universe, in the human body, as well as the cells of the body. If you can maintain that, you can be perfectly healthy. If the pure water content on the earth is this much, we have absolutely no problem at all. Now comes to the question, something which I want to understand. The real beauty of water is to maintain homeostasis. The concentration of water and other contents outside and inside should be perfect. Once that is done, all the 100 trillion cells of the human body will be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy, and we'll have a perfect psychophysiology from core to the last perfection. But that balance is homeostasis, both internal as well as external. We now need to even slightly modify the definitions of different things which we have the world. It is not homeostasis inside alone. The homeostasis inside as well external, both should be well maintained. That's it. Now comes the mechanism of homeostasis. There are two causes. The cause and effect should be known. So you have a negative feedback mechanism, you have a positive feedback mechanism. Both the mechanisms will make sure that balance of homeostasis is maintained 24/7 within normal physiological limits. And that is what is required for us to know from medical science, that homeostasis is absolutely essential. This is the first chapter in physiology. If the first chapter in anatomy is perfect anatomy, structures, and Divyank, then physiology also with Divyank, biochemistry also with Divyank, psychology also with Divyank. So as a result, I am sharing the kind of information which is not there in the world, but which I have used to come to this stage, that you cannot find fault. But I can find fault with everything. I am not trying to find fault. I am only finding things to produce impeccable wisdom for every child from school, college to the university, for uniform syllabus where there is no deficiency of any nature. We need that impeccable wisdom. That's it. Now there are 10 variables which are absolutely essential for homeostasis. The one which stands out is the water content of 61.8334%. That's the first thing which I make it clear. This is water 61. If you can maintain it, you'll be perfectly healthy. And connected with that is blood volume of 5 liters. The sugar of 101 milliliter per 100 ml of blood. The normal electrolytes of the body, sodium and chloride, is also with Divyank. Sodium is electrogenic, very strong. With chloride is an extracellular fluid. With potassium intracellular. Then calcium, iodine, as I already shown, they play an important role. You got to see all my videos to finally have impeccable. It cannot be done in 1 hour of any nature. So everything has got a foundation which is new. This is for applied part. Mean blood pressure is also important and should be 93. It is based on systolic and diastolic and pulse pressure, which is based on Divyank again. Even the partial pressure of oxygen from space in Chennai to enter is also Divyank. An expulsion of 61.8% of carbon is also with Divyank. Everything is Divyank, Divyank and Divyank only. Once you know Divyank, we can calculate the perfect values. Let us teach medical students and everybody impeccable wisdom. Let's not confuse with wide varieties and different books by different things by different people. And I'm insisting that one value, this is known, other values will already be known because they are variations. It's a perfect in 100%. Then 1%, 5%, 10% with this way or that way are the one which really make the world whatever it is. It's unfortunate. But we should have a perfect value which is being revealed for the first time from 2015 with the help of Divyank. And I'm insisting on that. Till 2015, we did not have the mathematical design to calculate perfectly. Now that we have, we should learn to do it. And for the last 9 years, I've been doing only that for the world in my books, my publications, my website, my answers in Quora, my videos. In every form, I talk of only Divyank, Akhandata, nothing other than that. From that now, to prove the point, let's say solid element is 30.1966% and water content is 61%. And you can see in this particular picture, extracellular fluid should be 61.86%, which is further divided into component is also in the same ratio. Once that is understood, you will be able to keep your physical body perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. And that's it. Now I'm going to give an example. Many of my students ask me, do you give that example in the cellular level? But when I talk of the cellular level, I say very clearly, solid content should be 38.1968%, whereas water content is 61.8. And best example is RBC. If the isotonic solution in which RBC is presented, they will not swell. As you can see, the water can come out, water can go on. The equilibrium is maintained because it's isotonic. That means it is saline combination with body's isotonic solution is 7.4 pH. If it is maintained, you will maintain that as such. But when there is hypotonic solution, mean lower concentration, the water would come out and the shrink would settle down. RBC will become shrink. That you can see in the left picture down. Water is coming out and cells are shrinking because atmosphere out is hypotonic or low concentration. On the other side, when the outside concentration is full of water, which is highly concentrated, full of water, it goes in, and if it is normal limit, it will swell, not go to the extent this is. But when it crosses 35 point, you start seeing breaking down. That is a sign that it is more than that. This experiment of effect of normal saline on red blood cell is a beautiful example. I have put shrink, no change, swell and then break with a concentration of only water outside. Once we understand that, it proves that 38. And many of students are asked why nucleus is not there, because it's replaced by hemoglobin, which is 35%. Only thing has to be 38.2% to be very precise. And 35 is taken, so there is no space for nucleus, there is no space for mitochondria, there is no space for other organelles to maintain life within cell. As a result, RBC, which is formed in 21 days, can live for only 120 days because it cannot produce further to maintain it very well. And that is the kind of wisdom which is required. I have already given. I have also explained why RBC mature cell is not living cell because it cannot reproduce. I have also said it's not because of the nucleus, because there is no centrosome there to produce it, whereas neuron cells have a nucleus, but they don't have centrosome. That's why they cannot reproduce. And that is the kind of knowledge which I want the world to understand, which nobody can find fault with. I'm trying to reflect from that angle and give the world this is the wisdom which is required. Now let's take the whole thing to the next level of spiritual science by and large. We have spoken about the medical side. We have seen the effect otherwise, how medical life it is there. But how spirituality has helped me to understand the concept very clearly to make things clear. Now, Amarnath, I have spoken about the medical side and the water thing. But let's go further. Now, as I told you, the whole thing came from zero. Is what is there in the beginning. Pentagon inside is zero. If you understand that Antaratma can give you, and Antaratma will say 61.80 water is required. That's it. And how the universe was formed from neon 21 to Akashbhuta, from there the 10 stages of evolution, and all the elements on the earth are only from that concept is something which I've already explained. Once you understand that, how it is formed, how it's going to go, is something which will be perfect integrated knowledge. Now from that, all the Panchbhutas shapes I have given in this picture, I have explained in my last also. There is no need to repeat. Let's move on to the next stage. Now Aitreya Upanishad is one Upanishad which is a direct reflection of what is in Rig Veda, the first Ved, which is talking of atom, element, molecules, compounds and cells of the entire universe, 32 different forms. And that is reflected into Aitreya Upanishad as a cosmic Purusha. And how beautiful this particular thing is amazing. I have already shown that in my video on reincarnation 22 stages. Is a phenomenal thing for everybody to understand. How beautiful mind can explain. And this was thousands and thousands of years ago. And wisdom is very clear there. But what I'm talking about, nature. Soul created three worlds, Trinity. One is Ambo, the heaven, which is water, 61.86% is something which I'm very surprised that Upanishads say everything started from water. And that is water which brought it down. It's amazing, impeccable wisdom, and that is what it is. Then you have Antariksh, or effulgence, atmosphere, or miniature, which is our air, seven heavens, seven Antariksh. Then comes to earth, which is solid element, which is made of atom, element, etc., is 38.966%. These three things are made of 21 parts, and when they go to the Turiya stage, is 22, is very clear in one this simple line. Mathematical design of 22 by 21 is very embedded in this. Now the fourth stage is Apabhuta, crescent, and shape I have already explained. That shape is like a crescent with 3 degrees, 360 degrees, and percent is 61.8 is something which I have already shown on earth, 7 heavens and 7 atmospheres of atmosphere and 7 oceans on the earth speaks volume. And of course 7 stages of earth also to Atal to Padal is the beauty of 7 which has been explained step by step. We need impeccable wisdom of that clear to have the mind clear. This is universal consciousness. Now, having done all that in the universe from neon 21 to neon 21 to effulgence to 10 stages of development, Panchabhutas and 10 concept coming down, everything has fallen down, and this very clearly written in Upanishads as well as Vedas. It's a king who's the king of God is water and rain god. With the thunder, lightning and rain, all the essential elements came down from cosmos to the ocean for the biological life. That is something which is very interesting, that they came from top, come down, and biological life start only in water and ocean, and I make it unicellular organisms started in warm ocean waters. All the requirement came from the ocean and went back, and that's what I said, extracellular fluid, interstitial fluid. It's just like slime water of olden days, not of today. Today is too slime. But all the requirements came from there and went back, and that is the kind of knowledge we see in Sagar Manthan, a smoother Manthan, a churning of ocean. Because everything emerged from the ocean thereafter, whatever today. Today research is going back to ocean again, because there are more and more mysteries which have not been explored. And modern science is trying to figure it out. There is more value in the process which will make our job much easier the years to go. Now, this is a picture of churning of ocean when gods and demons put together wanted immortal, and they got into ocean and put a snake around Meru mountain and started churning out, and 14 things came out of that is shown, but there all the 33 things came from ocean only. And one of the concept is amrit, and that is what I'm talking about with respect to water. Nobody has talked about amrit as water, but nobody has also described what amrit could be. That's also a fact to be remembered. But for me, it is only water, 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 nothing other than that, from the ocean water, pure drinking water. And today we are bringing life to the many countries where there is no water. They do desalination of water to produce water for biological life. Is a history of modern science helping humanity. If you want to be immortal, you need water. And you do need desalination from ocean water is what I'm talking about. Now, human being descent of, I'm going to now talk about another story. You call it story, but I call it a fact. Nothing is written in story form without anything actually happening. We are not able to have the mind that such a thing would have happened. That's the reason this. But now let me tell you, according to the legend, that King Sagra had many of great grandfathers of King Bhagirath, who was the king of Ayodhya again, were declared dead or were defeated and put in animated suspension in Patal Lok or Nectar world. And they were told that we have to get Akash Ganga water to purify them. And kings, 2-3 generations of kings were trying to do tapasya to get Akash Ganga to come down, but they failed. Finally, Bhagirath succeeded in persuading, and she said, I can come down provided you ask Lord Shiva to hold water in the head. And they release only in a particular way, in a particular form, so that there is no damage to the earth, and Akhand Bharat is also known. Now, this is a story. Now I take it to the next stage. What happened? Now, this is a picture of King Bhagirath from Chennai, Punam, Mahabalipuram caves. You can see Bhagirath doing tapasya on one foot and asking for the water to come down. This is a beautiful example of ancient Indian scriptures. Now, this is a picture. You can see Shiva standing and Ganga coming down. Bhagirath on one side and Parvati on the other side is just watching the scene of descent of Akash Ganga on the earth. This is a beautiful picture which is graphically very lovely about the description of the story. Now in this picture the same thing where you see Lord Shiva sitting down and Ganga coming down and coming to the head. But then water is falling on both the sides is something which I would like to say this is a beauty one, but there is a little deficiency which is rectified in the picture which I created way back in 1992. This is a picture I created in 1992 and I would call it is an enlightening Shiv Shakti picture. And why I call this is Shiv Shakti, in this picture you can see Shiv and Shakti with the face of Shakti, and also major part is more of a female consciousness than a male consciousness, makes it that Shakti is 61.803%, whereas Shakta is only 38.1966%. But there is another thing very important in this. Normally you see Akash Ganga coming from head falling on the right side, but here you find falling on the left side. This taught me something which I think makes Akhand Bharat a very defined place. What exactly it means, let me take you to the next stage to explain what I am talking about. Now look at this particular picture of Akhand Bharat, and I am very clear Kashmir to Kanyakumari is one country called Bharat, and I call it Akhand Bharat. And in that place you have Ganga starting from the head from Kailash, Mansarovar, and what comes out of that is a Sindhu river which flows towards the left side, which is the left western demarcation of India. Let's take Sindhu as a mark. Anything below Sindhu is Akhand Bharat and over is not Akhand Bharat. On the right side, eastern side, it is Himalayas which divide India, protect us from others. So Himalayas on the eastern side protect us from outside, and the west it is the Sindhu which stops us. And of course the ocean, other thing. As a result, this is what it is. But there is something else which I have shown in this. But Ganga comes out not from Mansarovar as a Sindhu. That is what in the picture is. But Vishuddhi Chakra is in the throat from which Ganga comes, and that is in Bharat's what used to be called Uttar Pradesh to coming to stage from Gangotri, Uttarakhand, and then coming flow and come towards the eastern side to make the whole place gravinate. That is one story which makes it very clear. Now, this is the water which came and revived all the followers of Bhagirath and made it clear, recovered. And what it means dehydration, less water, more salt. You are in a suspended animation. And we need is water to purify. And that is a combination of water along with glucose and sodium is absolutely essential to maintain. But water is required. Without pure water they won't have revived because there is already content of sodium is high and so is glucose. So it needs to be dilated to make a perfect level, which is absolutely essential for homeostasis. That is what I am talking about. So this story of Sagar, Samundar Manthan on one side and Akash Ganga on one side and the water on the other side, revival is absolutely essential. Now let's take it to the next stage, to the science which can be called medical science by and large. Now we are going to try apply divine nature to make a difference to the human body with water as an immortal medium, and I call it, it's a divine solvent for everything. Without that nothing can be done without water, and for me it's a seat of life is water. It is water in the blood which carries everything in a dilute form to reach every cell perfectly. That's it. Now, the pure water I said is a universal solvent designed by divine nature. The power of 10 proton I've already said, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So it is a combination of Aditya and Gayatri as a 2, and 10 is equivalent to neon only. Water can exist in all the 10 stages of matter. Grossest form is earth, which is Amarnath, which cannot move. Then you increase the temperature, becomes water, that is Ganga water. Then you heat further, it becomes stream, it can scald. Then go further, it becomes Vayu, and heat you to 1600 degrees, you become plasmatic state of the matter, or Akash Bhuta is possible both ways. So a change of energy from energy to solid matter and multimatter to matter, the best example is again water. That's it. You can see in this form in 5 different forms or 10 different forms, and everybody can see and learn from water. When it is solid ice, fluid, then heat, then Vayu, then Akash is very clear. So best example from that is that. And water can absorb and release large amount of heat because it is the one who changes. And that is also something which I am going to explain. As a result, the body temperature is beautifully maintained well primarily because of water. If it is hot climate, drink water, you will not have any problem. And that's it. Water reacts in many forms to make molecules and compounds. Without that, it is not at all possible. So as a result, you can say water is a universal solvent, universal carrier, seat of life, and with concentration of water at 61.83%, you will not need any medicine. And even Japanese concentrate at hydrotherapy, drinking almost like 1.2 liters of water in the morning to make the whole system very clear. There will not be constipation, there will not be a urine problem, there will not be any problem. All the unwanted things will be washed out by adequate water. And I make it clear from my life. I drink about 4 to 5 liters of water every day to keep myself purely rehydrated, perfect by and large. That's one part. Now the question comes up is pure water also has a reflection of neutrality. Acid is hydrogen, base is OH. So water itself is an integrated water to talk about acid-base balance. HOH, there are two things. H plus is acidic, OH is a negative base, and the combination makes a perfect water at 7, and that is what the picture I say. 7 is the neutral, and if it is more hydrogen, you are acidic, less hydrogen, you are alkaline. Right side you can see alkaline, left side you can see red, and that's the beauty. Now another thing which is it's got polar bonds with water. You can see the picture. As a result, surface tension increases. As a result, spider can walk on water because of surface tension, and that is what is also applied very well in human body to maintain homeostasis perfect in all is surface tension plays very important role on that part. So this is another beautiful example of water that even acid base balance is there within the picture itself. 1 and 9, that's it. Then surface tension. Now let's take it to the next stage of the medical science. Dehydration, water comes down. The cause and treatment: not drinking enough water can increase blood water intake to make it better. When water content comes down, it is a diastolic pressure goes up and systolic pressure comes down. When you drink water, it is systolic pressure will go up and diastolic pressure will come down. As a result, mean arterial blood pressure of 93 can be easily maintained with the adequate amount of water. But if it is within that, you will have no problem. Then vomiting, diseases, diarrhea, dehydration, they all can dehydrate, and for that you need fluid intake. But have you noticed when you go to a doctor does not give you water alone. They give you along with normal glucose saline with water. That means water is there, there is a glucose, there is a little salt. And I want to show very clear, salt from glucose has a symbiotic relationship. They get absorbed together. For glucose to be absorbed optimally, you have to have a salt and you should have water, and then the combination is very good. And that is also the food when all the juices you have little salt, little glucose, little water, it's perfect. And fluid alone, sugar without salt will not taste as good, will not get absorbed, even tongues will not taste it as perfectly. So that is the kind of knowledge which is again a combination of sodium and chloride is also in Divyank ratio. Then sodium chloride and glucose of that concentration is also to be important. So this is where Divyank will make it very easy for know the knowledge fully. So excessive fever, sweating, again you lose water, you take water to replace. Diabetes mellitus, again you pass lot of urine glycolysis, and again you need more water, and that is also with diabetes mellitus. So for that, when you take a lot of alcohol, you take coffee, you can different things, you lose water and then you need more water to retake. That is the kind of medical science we should know. These are the do's and these are the not do's. So if you can maintain the water intake and not fall sick, not take alcohol, coffee and many things, not diabetics, you don't suffer from anything, you'll be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. That is the objective with which this particular video I say, for every human being to be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, you got to know A to Z of water, both on spiritual side and this, and how the information was done is an example to prove that ancient scriptures were not stories, they were science. That's it. Now, let me also tell you another thing which is called aging mechanism. It is found that a 30 years man who's 70 kgs, he almost has 61.803% water. But as he grows older, he comes to 70 years, his water content considerably keeps coming down. And the reason is water is lost not because of that, because the fat content has started increasing. As we grow older, we become more obese. So water is replaced by water which cannot be used for circulation is becoming a liability for all the problems which I have. And we call it an aging process. And I can tell you by maintaining water clearly, not putting on weight, even if you are 70 plus, you can maintain the same girth as you have when you are 21. You can easily do it without putting on weight. You can drink water and maintain that by regular intake of water alone. And this is something which I can say you can curtail aging, you can reverse aging with the help of water alone and by cutting short on fats which are not deposited. Adipose tissues is excess fat which get deposited, and that is very difficult to do because it's adipose tissue. It is fat, not a liquid alone. And that is also knowledge you get from water. It's absolutely essential to keep your aging process also out of the picture. That is what is required for every human being as we move on. Now there comes the question of body temperature. I told you it's a water which can transfer. Body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.0 Fahrenheit. And this is a picture of both one side and other side how things are. Now let's take it how things are maintained very well. Now reducing body temperature is pour water, and when water is poured it starts evaporating. When water evaporates on the body temperature will come down. That's a natural process of water by and large. There are a lot of qualities of water which we have spoken about it. Some more I'm going to talk about it. But evaporation of water leading the body temperature bring down is one process. Then evaporation is another process. Then lot of things which happen in this particular picture you will see is trying to reduce body temperature primarily with water, evaporation and conduction and otherwise. I think that is something again amazing quality of water. So no wonder we call it divine universal thing, seat of life, a divine thing to make a real difference. Now in this particular picture I have explained, but all the things which center around are only water, water and water alone. Once that picture is very clear, that will say we can maintain the body temperature by regularly drinking water, transmitting from one angle to the other side, it can easily move and from there. Now I'm going to take you to one thing which is very comprehensive on water elements, real qualities. Let's understand that. Now, and this particular thing I have said, the first solvent as divine nature is water. The most abundant inorganic compound is water. Ideal percentage of water on earth, human body and human sense 61.8%, power of 10. We exist in 5 things which I have said. It can exist quality of polarity, high heat capacity for temperature thing I've already explained, high chemical reaction for most molecules come from the water. It's a beautiful medium. Excellent carrier capacity for body solutions from heart to the different parts. And what are the requirements of the 100 trillion cells of the body are carried by water. Of blood plasma to maintain as a surface tension. High surface tension in polarity shape makes it. It's an excellent balance, and it has got all the qualities which we can think of to make ourselves perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise human being. So at the end, I would say, if you understand water, use the water as a medium, as an immortal. No wonder, that's why I call it Amrit, I call it nectar, and that's it. And entire thing by and large centers around water. And from that, now let's go on to the next picture, which is the last one in this. In this particular picture, you can see the center part. It's water, water, water. And I'm talking about Vaikuntha, in which soul has to go into ventricles, is water. It is external fluid in Vahani Nadi, extracellular fluid is also water. Spinal cord central canal also contains water, like saline water. Ventricles also contain saline water. Atma going there is saline water. A to Z is saline water. So once we understand that it is Shiva also in water, Vishnu also Vaikuntha is water, and Brahma also coming out of the navel of Vishnu and is said in the same Vaikuntha is also water. So you see the beauty of water in ancient in the scriptures, from Lord Brahma to Vishnu to Mahesh, and the percentage by and large, and it is also the carrier which is in the universe, which it comes down, and everything is brought down only through the water. King Indra, thunder, lightning, shower, and everything start. And there is no biological life possible without water. Seed, if you put it, if you want it to sprout, you need to put water first. Only when it's soaked in water with enough atmospheric oxygen, other thing, sprouting will take place and things will move. You can't have complete water and no air, also something which I want people to understand. Suppose you want to go for sprouting of herbs, or sprouting of wheat, or for that rajma, or for that Bengal gram or other thing. You need to put water enough to soak it, not submerge it. Submerging will not be that efficient, but soak it so that its atmosphere is also there, oxygen is also there, and things should move on. That is also knowledge we need to do. You can't put water alone and expect emerging. But water along with oxygen, atmosphere, can create the transformation, because that is photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is light of the sun, or for that matter any light, particularly if it is ultraviolet light on one side or infrared on other side, can produce more oxygen than other colors. And I'm going to give that in detail in my next video about effect of photosynthesis, the role of ultraviolet and red giving more aerobic oxygen than other things, and many of the details how nature takes place. What is the reaction? But conversion of water into oxygen is through ATP formation, other things is also I'm going to talk about it. This is also something which we need to understand. Soak things, water, just soak it, not submerge it. Let oxygen take place, let there be aerobic action, let things move. And that is the kind of science which I want people to know what to do and what not to do, what is the cause, what is the effect. Once that is understood, I think we are clear for using water as a medium for regeneration. And once that is understood, I can tell you, we are on the path to say this is impeccable wisdom we should have once for all. So I think we have more or less come to the end of maximum amount of information which I could carry within 1 hour. I think I've given it, but this is not end to it. You understand the whole thing once for all, then you will be much more enlightened. Thank you very much. Thanks.